I know you also wrote an article about how the Browns can go from worst to first in 2026, and it involves that 120-day plan that Andrew Berry somewhat alluded to. Take us through that in kind of the steps needed.
Well, I didn't lay out what they should do this whole off season, but it came off the 120 day, which is the 4 months. That obviously they have to hire a coach, they have to, be active in free agency, trades, and then the NFL draft. You got to start out and you got to get the right head coach and you got to work together. But there's no secret. Most all your assets need to be on the offense. I looked at, the offense that started against the Bengals. I don't know if there's a case more than one of those guys starting next year, unless Joe Batonio comes back. If he comes back, you might have two starters from that game. You really need to overhaul the offensive line and the wide receiver room, in my opinion. So the biggest reason is last year there was five teams that drafted in the top 11 because of their records, and they made the playoffs this year. I mean, you had the Patriots, they won their division. They went on, whatever. I think they won 13-4, something like that, 14-3. The um you go through the draft order. There was five teams. The 49ers were 11th. The Jaguars were one of them. All those teams were drafting at the top and made the play. The Panthers, even though they were 8 and 9. So when you look at it, and I did a little more research after I put that article out, is right now the Browns are playing a fourth place schedule on top of the offseason moves. Only three playoff teams: the Steelers, the Jaguars, and the Titans. Or not Titans, Texans. Um, Only three teams with a winning record are on their schedule based on this year. And that's the same three teams that made the playoffs: the Steelers, the Texans, and the Jaguars. So you're playing a fourth place schedule, so that's wide open. I think everybody believes if you get the offense rolling and you add, some guys that whoever's blocking gives a quarterback some time. You have a running back, you have a tight end, you have maybe one wide receiver, but you get some weapons, surround whoever, and maybe even bring in a veteran quarterback and not just anoint Shadur Sanders. You could make noise, and that's the way the NFL's set up. Five of those teams were the caveat is they all have quarterbacks: Drake May, Caleb Williams, Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, and Bryce Young.